A lovely evening here from the coastal city of Mogadishu. Welcome to Somalia's premium #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, we have a lot in store for you, but first, have a look at some of our top stories. Here is Shabelle Regional State on high alert as Shabelle River floods villages. Shabelle forest combat kills dozens of Somali security forces and militants. Africa Union backs Somalia's request to pause troop withdrawal for 3 months. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. The interim capital of Hirshabelle Regional State, Mahade district in the Middle Shabelle region, are on high alert as the Shabelle River has begun flooding several nearby villages over the past few days. The flooding has already devastated various crops in the agricultural sector, just as the harvest season was approaching for the farmers in those areas. Here's a full story. The interim capital of Hirshabelle Regional State, as well as Mahade district in the Middle Shabelle area, are on high alert after River Shabelle began flooding numerous adjacent communities in recent days. Flooding has already destroyed many crops in broad agricultural area, just as harvest season approaches for farmers. Omar Mohammed Omar Gabu, the Deputy Minister of Disaster Management for Hirshabelle State, claimed that Mahade district is nearly fully drowned after river floods overwhelmed a community on the district fringes. Floods have devastated areas of Middle Shabelle region for the second time this year, destroying crops. Floods caused over 250,000 people to abandon their homes in May as the Shabelle River in central Somalia overflowed and submerged the town of Beledweyne. The last El Nino event in 2015-2016 resulted in severe rainfall, landslides, flash floods, and building collapses. Following its worst drought in 4 decades, Somalia is facing one of the world's greatest hunger crises, with the United Nations warning that food insecurity is worsening by the day. According to the United Nations, around 4.3 million Somalis could face hunger between October and December as a result of the El Nino, violence, and other circumstances. The UNICEF cautioned that the floods will have a long-term impact if necessary measures are not taken. At least 30 pro-government fighters and dozens of Al-Shabaab militants were killed in Somalia during a year-long offensive against the Al-Qaeda-linked group, an army officer and a clan elder asserted. At least 30 pro-government fighters and dozens of Al-Shabaab militants were killed in Somalia during a year-long offensive against the Al-Qaeda-linked group, an army officer and a clan elder asserted. As Somali troops and allied militiamen struggled to root out Al-Shabaab, which has been waging an insurgency since 2006, clashes in Shabelle forest on Wednesday illustrated the obstacles they face. In central Somalia, the army and the clan-based militias launched a military campaign last year that seized significant swaths of land from the militants, but has had mixed results since then. While the government forces have captured several major towns, Al-Shabaab has reclaimed some territory and conducted deadly raids on military bases. Somalia asked the United Nations to hold the planned drawdown of the 3,000 Africa Union peacekeepers due to several significant setbacks on the battlefield. Major Ahmed Noor told the Reuters news agency the Somali forces drove back Al-Shabaab fighters on Wednesday, but were surprised by sniper fire. He said that 30 government soldiers and militiamen were slain, while 55 Al-Shabaab militias were killed. Abdullah Mohammed, a local clan head, stated 33 pro-government fighters and dozens of Al-Shabaab were slain. Noor went on to say that 10 of his colleagues were injured on Thursday when a helicopter believed to be operated by one of Somalia's foreign backers accidentally bombed them. The latest offensive against Al-Shabaab has concentrated in central Somalia. The government has vowed a second phase that will target the group's strongholds in the country's southern bastions, where analysts believe it will be much more difficult to vanquish them. The Peace Security Council and the Africa Union has endorsed a request by Somalia for a 3-month pause in the withdrawal of 3,000 troops stationed in the country, the AU mission said to the press on Thursday evening. The Africa Union Peace and Security Council, PCS, has supported a request by Somalia to suspend the withdrawal of its 3,000 troops from the country for 3 months, the mission asserted. The Peace, Security and Council, the Africa Union's permanent decision-making organ for conflict prevention and resolution, welcomed the commitment by the 5 troop-contributing countries, Kenya, Burundi, Djibouti, Uganda and Ethiopia to cooperate with Somalia and its partners to secure the financial support needed for the Africa Union Transition Mission. The 5 troop contributing countries told the United Nations Security Council that they strongly support the request for a technical pause of the second phase of the drawdown of the 3,000 ATMIS troops for 3 months, as they agree with the country that it needs time to address security gaps, including the pooling of enough personnel to take on the security responsibilities. The Peace and Security Council advised Somalia to emphasize force development, regeneration, and capacity building in order to take over and adequately occupy all military bases handed over by the ATMIS and preserve Somalia's successes. The Peace and Security Council pledged to reach an agreement on the transition to the Somali government responsibility for security in order to make an informed decision on the ATMIS mandate renewal in December, including Phase 3 drawdown scheduled for June 2024 and final exit by December 2024 in consultation with Somalia, troop contributing countries, the United Nations and other partners. The Peace and Security Council, on the other hand, noted that the financial resource deficiencies that may delay the implementation of the sought 3-month technical hitters. It directed the Africa Union Commission to become involved. ATMIS was expected to scale down its troop numbers in September this year by a further 3,000 personnel after successfully withdrawing 2,000 troops and handing over 6 military bases. Lovely viewers, that's all we have prepared for you tonight from our desk here in Mogadishu. Have yourselves a lovely night. Keep tabs for more stories in our subsequent bulletins.